Hey guys, and welcome back to my cooking channel, Katie Cooks Easy Recipes, and today I'm going to be showing you these make ahead ultimate roast potatoes, which were just for Christmas, but obviously you can have roast potatoes all year round. They come out super crispy and they're just delicious. I like my roast potatoes to have minimum fuss when cooking them, so we're just going to go ahead with some Maris Piper potatoes. King Edwards are okay too. Some lovely crisp and dry oil, some garlic powder or garlic granules, and some fresh rosemary, or a little bit of salt as well. So this is how we're going to do it. Obviously we're going to begin by peeling our potatoes, and yep, I don't use an actual peeler. I still I don't know, I think I was just brought up peeling most veg with a knife, watching my mum and my nan, so this is how I peel mine. Keep hold of those skins, because if you've got an air fryer or an oven, but an air fryer is quicker, you toss them in a bit of seasoning and they are delicious crispy skins. So once you've peeled your potatoes, make sure that when you cut them up, you're cutting them into roughly the same sort of size, so that way they'll cook evenly. I must admit, I do like to put a couple of little rogue smaller ones in there, and you'll find out why. So put them into a nice big pan and cover them with some cold water. And then you're just going to season that with a nice pinch of salt. So you want the water to come over the potatoes by about 2 or 3 centimetres, and then get that boiling away, and then turn it down slightly so it's on a simmer, and then I'll show you how we want to, at what point we want to drain them. Get your oven on to 190, nice and high, and that's pre-warming, and we're going to put our oil into that. So this is my favourite pan. It's getting a bit weathered, it's a bit old now, it's about 10 years old, but it's still fantastic. It's got this bit on the bottom so that you can put it onto your hob and actually turn the hob on slightly, so when you're putting like your roast potatoes in, it keeps the oil hot for you, which is a really handy thing. And yeah, as I say, it's looking a little bit weathered, but it's stood the test of time for me, and one day when it does give up the ghost, I'll replace it with exactly the same one, hopefully, if they do it. So pour your crisp and dry in there, and you want it kind of you want it about the depth of a £1 coin, so 3 or 4 mils, I suppose. And then put that in the oven to heat up. So as you can see here, our potatoes are really strained. There's a couple of smaller ones that are absolutely falling apart, but what you want to do is drain them gently and then just leave them there to steam. Once they steam, they're going to look like this. You're going to get all those white bits around the outside, and they are the bits that's going to turn super crispy. Have your utensils at the ready. So I use some tongs and just a normal tablespoon, because what we're going to do is, and this is obviously, you need to be very careful when you're doing this, because that oil has been heating up for say around 10-15 minutes and it's red hot. You can hear the sizzle. So gently use your tongs. Try not to break the potatoes up too much, but gently use the tongs to spread the potatoes out so they're in one level. You don't want them piled on top of each other, because you're just not going to get the crispy potatoes that you're after. So yeah, gently spread them out, and try and do this as quick as possible, or your oil will go slightly cold, which mine does in this video, because I can't do it as quick as normal because I'm setting up the tripod, etc. But do it as quick as you can, get them all flattened out, and then in one layer, and then a nice crunch of salt, and then back in the oven for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes or so, you're going to take them out again very carefully, because the pan's hot, the oil's hot, and you're just going to use that spoon now to just baste them as best as you can. And then they go back in the oven for about another 20 minutes, and you just, as you guess, just repeat the process. And I'll do this 2 or 3 times, and once you've done it, after the second time, while they're in the oven, get your flavour in, because we're going to get a little bit of extra flavour into these potatoes. So I'm just going to get my rosemary prepared. So pull the leaves, give them a rinse, and then pull the leaves off of the stalks, and then you're just going to finely chop those as best as you can. So just to be clear, we're going to put our potatoes into the oven the first time, 20 minutes, take them out, baste them, put them back in for 20 minutes. Now the next time we take them out, we're going to sprinkle over this lovely chopped rosemary and some garlic granules, which you're going to see in a minute. So just get this all chopped up until it looks a little bit like this. And out comes our potatoes. So these have been in roughly for about 40 minutes now. This is the second time we're either going to baste them or we can turn them at this point. Does the same sort of job as basting them. and we're going to put them in now for another 20 minutes. But before we do, we're going to sprinkle over that lovely chopped rosemary, an extra crack of salt, and some garlic powder or garlic granules, whatever you've got, and that is just going to take the flavour up a level. It's absolutely delicious. So yep, pop them back in the oven for another 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, they're going to look like this. We're going to give them one more little turn to make sure they're all coated on all sides in that lovely flavoured oil. And then back in the oven just for about another 10 minutes. Now, when these potatoes come out, I'm not actually going to take them all the way crisp as if I was eating them today, because we're going to do them just under crisp. They're cooked, but just under crisp, because when we reheat them for Christmas or whenever we're going to use them, they're going to crisp up even more. So you want them just slightly undercooked, but they still look delicious. And just to show you that potato that fell apart earlier after they boiled, well, this is it now, and they're my favourite bits, super crispy. Right, let them cool down, and once they've cooled down, we're just going to put them into a freezer bag. But I just wanted to give you a close-up of how delicious they look. I mean, you could eat them now. They're not quite as crisp as I like them, because they're, as I said, about 10-15 minutes undercooked, ready so that they warm up really nice. But look, they're just fantastic. They're just crisp on the outside and soft and fluffy on the inside. Plus we've got some of extra little crispy bits from some of the potatoes that fell apart. Oh, I could just eat them. Do you know how tempting it was having them in the freezer? Do you think I'm going to warm a few of those up and just dip them into a cup of gravy? So here I am, just popping them into a normal freezer bag. I'm marked on it. These are Christmas roast potatoes. Do not touch, because yeah, as I say, they're really hard to resist. And don't forget scrape up all these little crispy bits, because as I say, they're everyone's favourites. Just pop them in the bag with the roast potatoes, give them a seal, and they'll be fine in your freezer for, if they last that long, for up to 3 months. Just make sure that you, which I did add to this because you can't see it, but just make sure that you, if you are keeping them frozen for some time, that you put the date that you froze them written on the bag as well, just so that you've got a good idea how long they've been in there for. And I just wanted to show you what I forgot to video it, but these are ones that are frozen. I wanted to show you how they come, just a few, how they warm up in the oven. So I popped them in frozen, put them in there for about 30 minutes while everything else was cooking, and they turn out like this. I mean, that's why I undercooked them, because look how crisp they are now. They are just absolutely mouth-watering, and you know, roast potatoes are best fresh out of the oven. But these are not a bad job, are they, at all? I just wish like the pubs and stuff would bake their roast potatoes on their roast dinners as good as this. But yeah, crisp on the outside, fluffy on the inside. Been in your freezer for up to 3 months, and they're just really handy. It saves you a lot of time and a lot of mess. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel.